Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker. I'm the head trader here, but I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. So in today's video, we'll take a look at the economic data, we'll look at some earnings, we'll go over some news, then we'll do a market recap and a market analysis. So starting here on the economic data front, we did have US gross domestic product or GDP come in worse than expected here at 1.1% with 2% expected. We also had U.S. initial jobless claims come in at 230,000 with 248,000 expected. And we had pending home sales come in down 5.2% with 0.5% forecasted. And turning to the calendar tomorrow, Friday, April 28th, we do get the core PCE price index. And turning to the earnings calendar here, as you can see, some pretty big earnings today. We had Amazon, MasterCard, T-Mobile, Comcast, Intel, S&P Global, Caterpillar, Northrop Grumman. Let's see what else we got. Fidelity, Tractor Supply, Royal Caribbean. Yeah, just a bunch of earnings today. Now we can look at some news here. This is lumber futures at their lowest level since June of 2020, down 80% from their peak up here in May of 2021. We also have the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, admitting he took a call with Russian pranksters that were pretending to be the Ukrainian president. So that's pretty interesting there. And we also have Argentina to pay for imports in Chinese yuan, ditching the US dollar. And we do have the House passing a bill to increase the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion. And we have US imports of consumer goods down 20%. Year over year through March, which is worse than the max declines from the pandemic and the great financial crisis. And this is, we have the Chinese yuan overtaking the US dollar as the most used currency in China's cross-border transactions for the first time in history. And we have, this is just a detailed look at the GDP report. As you can see, the decline in GDP here from the past couple quarters. And this is the health spending per capita versus in the life expectancy. As you can see, the U.S. is just a massive anomaly way out here, with a really low life expectancy and an extremely pricey healthcare. And we have the only 32% of the S&P 500 components are outperforming the broader index, which is the lowest levels since 1999. So now we can turn to our market recap here. Starting in the debt market, we have the U.S. 10-year yield getting a green day. Getting back up through that midline, kind of squeezing here on the daily chart. Just kind of chopping around here between the lower and upper extremes. Turning to the dollar. Green day here in the dollar with a large wick from the upside. Still consolidating down here at the lower end of this daily range. Wicking off that lower extreme here on the weekly chart. Looking at the stock market, massive day in the stock market today. Huge green candle after bouncing off that lower extreme yesterday and getting through that midline. Turning green on the week here. You can look at the VIX. The VIX, as you can see, getting a big drop to the downside here. Back down through that midline. Turning to cryptos, we have XRP getting a green day here in XRP after a pretty big wick to the downside yesterday. Still consolidating here at the lower end of this daily range. Wicking off that lower extreme on the midline here on the weekly chart. If you remember a couple videos ago, I said to look for that 43 cents level as a target because it was that midline and that previous high. So we did get a bounce off that level. Turning to Bitcoin, we have a big green day here in Bitcoin. After getting through that midline yesterday, pretty volatile day. Working its way up here towards the upper end of this daily range. Turning to commodities, we have oil here getting a green day, after pretty much pulling into this lower extreme after that massive red day we had yesterday, filling that gap and getting down through it. Gold, we do have a red day here in gold, just kind of wicks to both sides, sitting right here at that midline, still squeezing here on the daily chart. Silver, green day here in silver too after wicking down through that midline, still holding above this previous structured support from January. You can see the bands are starting to get a little tighter here. Now we can do a market analysis here. As you notice, if you watch any of my other market recap videos, my charts are going to look extremely different. And the reason for that is because I'm trying to simplify the market analysis so it's easier for most people to understand instead of just a bunch of technical indicators and crazy lines and stuff. And I'm probably not going to focus on trading as much, like specific trades and go over specific trades. Kind of just want to make it more of just like a general market analysis so you guys have an idea of what's going on in the market. Make it more of a market recap. And then I'm thinking in the future, maybe just making like for the trading videos or for the trading aspect of it, making its own like short little videos and keeping the trading aspect separate from the actual market recap videos. So as you can see here on the volume, just a monster green day, getting through that vol average, just pretty much just all buying today after bouncing off that lower extreme. We can turn into the 5-minute here. As you can see, this is where we opened up, getting a big gap up, getting a nice push up, pulling into VWAP, and then really just ripping throughout the day. We can zoom out a little more here. So here we have the 15-minute and the 2-hour. As you can see, finding some resistance here at this upper extreme on that first push, but then pulling back and giving that extreme time to really extend up, giving it plenty of room to the upside here. As you can see, kind of pulling into these levels, this kind of significant level here from yesterday before really bouncing. But as you can see, just this is on the 2-hour chart, just a massive recovery after that broadening wedge breakout that we were talking about. And we can just draw it like this. After this big wedge pattern breakout, just a massive recovery, you know, getting up almost to that retest of this lower trend line. So we can look at the relativity here. As you can see, we have the SPY on the left and the Qs on the right. These are 2-hour charts. As you can see, the Qs getting a really strong bounce as well, getting up here towards the top of this range. So really strong bounce in the NASDAQ as well. But yeah, big green day here today. Be really curious to see what happens tomorrow. Flipping green here on the week with this upper extreme, you know, kind of pushing up here on the weekly chart. So yeah, that'll do it for the video. Appreciate y'all watching, and I will talk to y'all later.